All right, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So, Lando Norris is officially crowned the Formula One World Champion of 2025. The season is over. That trash Ferrari is no longer. I'm partially happy, to be honest with you. Partially happy. It's a bit bittersweet, to be honest. I wanted Oscar to win. Oscar was leading it for such a long time, but there's a small part of me. I don't like Lando. I don't like him. But there's a small part of me that's like, good job. There's a small part of me that's like, fair enough, fair play. Congratulations. I mean, he's not on the levels of Max, Leclerc, Lewis, Russell, but he's about a tenth behind. He's about a tenth behind. And Max Verstappen don't get to win 5 titles in a row, and that's also something to be happy about. He shouldn't have won the first title anyway, because that was obviously a robbery. A blatant robbery. Yes. But yeah, Lando Norris is crowned champion. And can you believe this? 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. Oh my goodness. The streets are saying that Max Verstappen lost those 2 points when he crashed into George Russell on purpose. On purpose in Spain. That's what the streets are saying. I remember when this happened. And even recently I was saying, like, listen, if Max get an opportunity to crash into Lando, he will do it. And people are saying, no, Max has more to lose. He probably won't do it. I'm like, Verstappen, this guy doesn't have the maturity to not crash into another driver, even with the hopes, because Verstappen is already losing the title. He lost the title. So by crashing into Lando could have possibly improved his chances. That's all I was saying. Anyway, it was a bit controversial as well. I'm glad that it was controversial, because when I saw him went off to overtake, I was like, holy shit, it's about to cook. You see now, you see how they struggle to rob a white driver? Like I've always said, if they get the opportunity to rob another driver, they will. And this was the opportunity. But is it possible that Lando has some friends in the FIA as well? Just like Max, both white drivers, both European. I thought this is the opportunity they get to steal his title. And honestly, they could have given him a penalty, but you know what? Even by giving him a penalty, probably a 5-second penalty, 10 seconds would be the harshest penalty, or 10-second stop and go. But 5 seconds, I think he would have still beaten Leclerc, so he would have still finished. So it's just an interesting turn of events. And I believe some of the people, some of the stewards who are at this Grand Prix was there in 2021 as well. Very interesting. But the one thing that they didn't have was Michael Massey. If they had him, and if they had the radio, it's not just Michael Massey that stole Lewis' championship. It was the fact that the teams had direct radio to the stewards and body. They could directly influence the outcome. The teams could directly influence the outcome of a particular GP. What kind of fucking bullshit is that? And they got rid of that shit immediately for the next season, because it was a fucking nightmare. It was honestly embarrassing for the sport. This was beautiful. This was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I don't understand why they're even that like, oh my God. It's like, listen. If Lando didn't retire in Vegas, if he didn't have an engine problem, a retirement in Zandvoort, he would have wrapped up this title a minute ago. If Lando was a bit more consistent, he would have wrapped up this title a bit more. If Oscar was a bit more consistent towards the latter part, they would have wrapped up this title already. So it's not like they lost a title that was definitive. Their car is very inconsistent. Sometimes it's the fastest car, and other times it's the 3rd fastest car, or 4th fastest car, or 2nd fastest car. That car was hella inconsistent, so they really weren't in the title fight. But due to McLaren's incompetency, McLaren's drivers' lack of consistency, due to their inexperience in fighting for championships, yeah, Max was close on this one. And ironically, out of all the drivers, Max has the most win this season. He has 8. Lando has 7. Piastri has 7. Oh my goodness. And they have the fastest car. It's kind of weird to think that Piastri only has 7. Because I remember when he was winning, I was like, damn, this boy is going to be like racking up 10, 11 wins this season. Not so much, not so much. But, and you should see their excuse for not giving Lando a penalty. You should see their excuse. Like it was obvious that Lando would have overtaken Sonoda regardless. I was like, oh, really? Okay, 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 okay. Do I believe Lando should have given a penalty for that? I think maybe 5 seconds. I think maybe 5 seconds. I think possibly 5 seconds. He would have still clinched the title, but at least you follow the rules. It's not like I want them to rob his title, but the stewards' inconsistency always continue. If Lewis did this for title fight, you know they're giving him the biggest, fattest penalty. So just because they didn't rob Lando don't mean that they won't rob Lewis. So I think, yeah, Lando got some favoritism. You can obviously see George got some people in the FIA as well that likes him. Lando clearly does. And Lando's dad, being a well-connected figure like he is, this man has he owns one of the biggest investment company in the UK, Hargreaves Lansdown. He's got some pull. His family, Lando comes from family with money. They got some pull. And they're British as well. Yeah, so I don't think, like I was saying in previous video, if they get another opportunity to rob another driver, they will. But I don't think they will. You get what I mean? Like, I don't think they will do it, but even though they want to do it, it just depends on who the driver is on the other hand. Like, let's say this wasn't Lando's first title. Then I think they would have definitely robbed him. But I think because it's his first title, they're like, yeah, go ahead. Let's not give him this penalty. A lot of favoritism. Now you look at a guy like Lewis, he ain't got no connections in the FIA. He didn't come from family with money, people with connections. He certainly didn't. And Ferrari don't have pull in the FIA like they used to. And when Lewis was racing for Mercedes, Mercedes don't have pull in the FIA like they used to. Or I don't think they ever did really. But you get my point. You ain't never got like Lewis in a position where he's going to receive any favoritism from the FIA. I think when Charlie was more around, it was a little bit more fair in the FIA. You know, Lewis would often like call out Charlie on some of the decisions, but they had a very respectful, professional working relationship, you know. But even Charlie would succumb to certain pressures from within the FIA, because it's not, you know, let's not forget when they took Lewis' Belgium win, I believe Charlie was the race director at the time. So, and they told him that move was okay. Then after the race, they gave him a massive penalty. So the robbery of Lewis Hamilton is nothing new. It's nothing new, is it? It's nothing new. Honestly, it is nothing new. But yeah, a small part of me is slightly happy that Lando has the title. Max doesn't get 5. He doesn't have 5 in a row. But also a small part of me didn't want Lando to win because of his arrogance sometimes, you know. But at the end of the day, I give credit where credit is due. And yeah, I think a lot of people is just agreeing that Max is just gonna see how next year goes, see where Red Bull is at, see where Aston Martin is at, and then that boy is gonna move. He's gonna make a move. It's ironic. I didn't even get to see the end of the race because my stream was it basically cut out. Like too many people were watching, especially towards the end of the race. Way too many people were watching, and it just completely cut. I was like, that's all right. Immediately, I just went on the Twitter space. Just went on Thanos' Twitter space immediately, and that was it from there. Kind of sucks for Oscar not to get the title. What kind of hug is that? Hands on hips and shit. I don't know, fam. I don't know. All right. Seriously though, I'm kind of glad that and I think they were questioning Max about this little incident. Yeah, I think they were questioning Max about this little incident that occurred in Spain. I don't think he was particularly happy. You see this guy right here? 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 Man, I can't stand this motherfucker. Seriously, I can't. To see the way this guy was riding Max's you-know-what in 2021. To see how happy he was that Lewis got robbed in 2021. This motherfucker right here, I can't stand this motherfucker right here. Honestly. It's kind of like when I met Aldous. I met Aldous once, another YouTuber. And it was funny because I recognized him. And he looked at me like almost like he knew that I recognized him. But I wasn't like gonna jump to like, ah, nice to meet you. Hey, how's it going? I wasn't on that because I didn't agree with certain things that he said in the past about the goat. So a kind of meeting is just like I just cut straight to the other person that I was talking to, and and that was that. I feel like that's the kind of energy I'd give Albin. It's like I know you, but I ain't cool with you. You see what I'm saying? It's like, mm, yeah, yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But listen, that's an interesting season over with. That is an interesting season over with. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I've said various things before. Um, I was still partly surprised that they didn't rob Lando to just give Max that title. But like I said, I think they both have friends in the FIA, and you know how long they took to make the decision. That's what confirmed to me that they were having an argument in the stewards' room. I was saying like, hold on a minute. That is he obviously went offline. I saw it the moment he overtook. I was looking for it because I was like, Sonoda's up to something. Sonoda's trying to keep him seat. But I was like, Sonoda, you're out of there, man. But still, how long they took to make the decision to even come to a conclusion, I was like, them stewards in there are arguing. Like they have a disagreement. Like when there's a big case going on, but the decision has to be decided by a jury. And half the jury agrees with the defendant. Half the jury agree with someone else. Yeah. And they argue, and the decision has to be unanimous, I believe. So everyone has to come on the same decision. If they don't, then it's like they have to review things and go through it again before the decision has to be made in one. It felt like that with the stewards. It felt like they were arguing. It felt like in that steward in the room, some of them like Lando, some of them like Max. Some of them wanted Lando to get a penalty, and some of them didn't want Lando to get a penalty. That's what I felt. That is what I felt. And I was like, they arguing over something. They arguing over something. And who knows, when they robbed Lewis, maybe there was a little bit of argument as well. But ultimately, the moment the Red Bull guys came on that radio, be like, Jonathan, I think it was Jonathan and Michael Massey was like, this is a motor race. Let's get racing. We only need one lap. You know what's crazy about that final race in Abu Dhabi is that what if Lewis did get to pit? So Perez didn't hold up Lewis for as long, and Lewis did get to pit, and Max also pitted. But what if they still broke the rules? So there's one final lap of racing, and Max overtook Lewis to win the title. What if? Because let's be honest, I ain't gonna lie. You see that straight on the first lap, you see that straight. On cold tires, it's easy to overtake people. And I feel like Max would have thrown it down the inside, pushed Lewis off track. He would have killed Lewis that night to win the title. I don't know, but I feel like Max, he's getting by Lewis or he's crashing both of them. So I feel like either way, Max was going to get in front or crash both of them. And if they both get crashed, Max wins the title. If Max gets ahead of Lewis, Max wins the title. So I think about this sometimes and I'm like the fact that Lewis didn't even get to change his tires wasn't the biggie. The big problem was the fact that all the cars weren't allowed to unlock themselves. The rules weren't followed. The rules that they said they're there to uphold. That's it at the end of the day. That's it. But listen, we're going to end this video here. I got another video to make about what Nico Rosberg is saying about Lewis Hamilton. I ain't feeling it. But listen, I'm going to leave it here and I'll see you guys in the next one. Is that what Marco saying that Tsunoda overshot the mark? What are you talking about? That nothing can make this gremlin be happy. Honestly, forget about it.